Hey builders, Brick Ratty up here with a returning brand to the channel, being another review by Truered Studio of their newest release. The first thing I want to point out is that they have a really interesting packaging sort of solution here that is like woven cardboard. Never seen anything like this before. The company is based out of Italy, so I wonder if this is just some sort of environmental rule that they have in the country. And inside I have a couple of figures and a head pack. I've never gotten one of these from them before, but I'm pretty sure it has 4 heads in it, and I'm kind of excited to see what's in here. I think it ends up being somewhat of a mix of older figures and the current ones in the release. Looks like I have 4 different colored heads. These are all pretty interesting. This top one is their bear figure they just released, and this bottom one is another one of the figures that I bought. But I'm not sure what these 2 middle ones are. They're pretty interesting, especially this one on that satin white, kind of a speckling pattern going throughout that one. Oh, it's a bunch of little smiley faces looking at it with my eyes. So that's really fun. I'm glad I got that one. This one is a mixed up face, so that's kind of interesting too, in that pink color. I definitely think these top 3, I'm going to be able to figure out something. I'm actually pretty excited about the figures that I got today, with 2 of them being Team Rocket members from Pokemon, and this other one being one of their older figures. It's one of the characters from Sin City, played by Elijah Wood in the movie. I'll just start with this figure first, since it is their older release. And I think this is their pretty typical clamshell packaging these days, with the logo at the top. All these figures are pad printed, just like Lego does themselves. And on the back, just some quick write-ups about the company. All these figures are made by one person in Italy, in Rome, so that's pretty cool. I will say that the reason why I don't get much of their figures is because shipping is $28 to the United States. So if you're interested, definitely wait until there's a couple of different options for you to pick up to save on shipping and kind of balance that shipping cost out to a couple different products. But I'll crack this guy open and get him on the stand. And here is the Silent Boy, as True Red calls them, or Kevin from the Sin City graphic novel or movie if you're going off of that. I will say that the lines on this sweater are pretty sporadic and look like they would be hand-drawn, so that works pretty well if you are using this as the comic version. And even the movie took a lot of inspiration from that style that Frank Miller had. There's no printing on the back of the head, but again, you know, that sweater design continues to the back, having a little bit of that shirt collar on both sides as well. Nothing on the legs and nothing on the arms, which is too bad. You know, I think I would have preferred like an accessory of some sort. But it's kind of cool. You can kind of see right there in that bit of his glasses, you know, it is shattered. Lots of fine little lines there. Just a fun thought when looking at this figure, you know, reminds me of another comic character with a striped sweater. So it's kind of cool to have 2 different characters like this with very similar style. And, you know, that's really about it. Nice, simple figure. The printing is done very well for how simple it is. And it's cool to get comic characters like this translated. This one works very well from the reference pictures you can see. And I'm a big fan of comics. I've seen the Sin City movie, so I thought I'd get this one. Let's move on to the next one. And this figure is called the Wrong Team Player by True Red. And of course, it's just a Team Rocket member. In the packaging, it features an accessory in its own little bag. And it is just a mug. I'm trying to position it so you can see it better. One side has the R from Team Rocket, and the other one has a Pokeball. So this is probably bought from the company store for use at their desk. This is a fun little accessory and it's going to be pretty usable outside of this character. You know, this actually has really great detail. I'm very happy with this one. The face is generic enough, and I don't know, it is very stylized. That's something you'll notice about all of their figures. I wish maybe the face was a bit more plain, just because I don't know specifically which character this would be based off of. It would have been really cool to have it based off of James from, you know, the show, or even Jesse. But the boot print is a really great improvement from some of my older figures of theirs. In my last review from them, I ended up getting this fusion character that had shoe printing, and I was pretty disappointed. It just had the one color, and it didn't wrap around all the way around the legs. But looking at this one, you can see it has wraparound and multiple colors. So really, it's just cool to see the progression for this brand. And also just having a cool figure like this from Pokemon is really fun. You know, it is a little bit rugged. Maybe they've been lost in a cave or something without an escape rope. It'll say, you know, this belt is probably printed a little too low, so the white is kind of showing at the top. You know what, actually, that might be pretty accurate if they are wearing white pants, but there's no belt loops or anything to kind of show that. And I just love these figures with those really fine details. You know, the tears in that R look really good. And I'm just so impressed by these boots. That's such a cool print. And, you know, maybe you could use these for some other characters that have white sort of pants and some work boots. I don't have this hairpiece yet either, so that's kind of cool to get. You know, this is pretty stereotypical of different enemies in the Pokemon game, so that's going to be kind of nice to have. I'm very impressed with this figure. Let's move on to the last one, which is a variant of this figure. And here is that other Wrong Team player, Team Rocket member in their black uniform, which is also seen in the games. And the packaging for this one is a little bit different, has variant on the front, and also on the back says that you grabbed a variant. Disappointingly, this one does not have an accessory, which is unfortunate, honestly. I don't see why it wouldn't, just because it is basically the exact same as the other Team Rocket member, other than having a yellow face and a different hairstyle. So I would hope that it would have the same amount of stuff as the other one, since the price is the same. And it is really interesting, they still printed black on black, and it is pretty subtle. You can definitely see it with that shirt. And a bit with the boot line. But again, you know, you have these useful prints with this boot. And in black, it's going to be a much more useful color for different characters. This head print is also good to get in other colors. And it's another unique hair piece that can go around and be used for fun things. Just something to point out, you know, nothing on the side of the torso or the hip, just a little bit of leftover printing from when it printed the front. Everything I kind of said about the last one goes for this one. Maybe the white version is a bit more fun because the printing is more present and obvious, but it's cool to have the two different styles of Team Rocket uniforms. Let's move on to the final verdict. And now that we're done looking at the individual figures and parts, here's my whole Truered collection basically, minus I also have their Freddy Krueger figure, but I kind of fig barfed that one with the Citizen Brick one to make kind of my personalized favorite version. I also threw together some quick fig barfs with all those heads I got in my head pack, and it's always fun to do this. Like I said earlier, the shipping is really expensive if you're not in Italy, I'm assuming. So it is, in my opinion, the best practice to buy multiple figures at once, try and get as much as you can for the shipping cost. I'm really happy I ended up getting their monster figures. Those ones are really fun and unique. I did miss out on the mummy one, skipped on it, and was hoping that maybe it wouldn't sell out. But that one sold out immediately. And they still have that Dracula figure for this series on their store, but I just thought if I'm going to have 1 through 3 and 5, you know, might as well just stick with what I have. I do think they still have some of these Team Rocket figures available on their site. If you want one, I would recommend it. Who knows, maybe they'll continue making Pokemon figures. That'd be cool to get. And really, all these figures are just so unique, like I've already said. And they have a lot of other crazy products that I haven't bought. You know, a lot of this will end up being personal taste sort of decisions. But for me, I'm glad with what I've purchased. I made sure to get what I wanted. But, you know, they're kind of like Citizen Brick. They just have a crazy amount of variety and a lot of interesting parts that you can use for making your own figures. So we're at the end of the video. If you like this one, definitely make sure to subscribe. And if you want to see all sorts of other custom Lego videos, check out all those other videos on my channel. I've been Brick Radiop, and I'll see you in the next video.